Alright guys, I'm going to do a couple more of these from our book of story problems. So in class, in both classes, 3rd and 6th hour, we did 1 and 2. I'm going to try number 4 with you. So Connor flew his small airplane 900 kilometers in 5 hours flying with the wind. He flew 700 kilometers against the wind in 7 hours. Find the rate at which he flew in still air and the rate of the wind. So no matter what, if we're in the air or if we're in the sea, we're always going to use these two equations right here. So in this case, when I have this distance equals rate plus the current times time, that's when I'm flying with the wind, because hopefully it makes sense to you that whatever speed I'm going, if I'm going with the wind, I will be going faster. So that's why I want to pick addition. So with. When I'm going against the wind, whatever speed I'm flying is going to be slowed down by that wind pushing against me. Okay, so we'll always use those two equations. And then I'm going to fill in the things that I know. So I flew my small airplane 900 kilometers in 5 hours with the wind. So with the wind is this one. So we got 900 for distance. And then they told me time was 5 hours. We flew 700 kilometers against the wind. So against the wind is here. So 700 kilometers. And that took me 7 hours. Okay. Now once I have that, I have my two equations, my two unknowns. So I should be able to do substitution or elimination. And it feels like we should do elimination because I have opposite C's. However, those parentheses need to be taken care of. And you actually don't want to distribute. You want to divide that away on both of these. So the 5 into 900 is going to go 180 times, right? I just want to make sure on that because I'm doing this without a calculator. So 5 into 9 goes once with 4 left over. 5 into 40 is 80. Okay, we bring down our R plus C. This is 100, R minus C, and then we're set up perfectly for elimination. So I'm going to scooch this one over here. We're going to add them up for 280 equals 2R, no C's, divide by 2, and so rate that I fly on my own is 140 kilometers per hour. The current that the wind is pushing me, or the rate of the wind, would have to be 40, because if I look right here, if I had 140 minus something and it has to be 100, that current would have to be 40. Also, if I look over here, I need it to be 140 plus something, and it's 180. So hopefully we feel okay with that. We just plug it in to find that other number. Okay, another good one to know how to do. In 3rd hour, we didn't do this one together. We did the first one. So I'm actually going to do the second one right now. The perimeter of a rectangle, so this is another good one to know, is 76 centimeters. The length is 2 centimeters more than twice the width. Find the dimensions. So I can use my perimeter formula by saying 76 equals 2L plus 2W. And then that second sentence there gives me another equation. So the length is, that is word is so important. That always means equals. So length is 2 more than, so 2 plus, twice the width. So 2 times W. And in this case, we're set up really nicely for substitution because I have L all by itself. So we can take that and plug it in here. So we'll have 76 equals 2 times 2 plus 2W plus 2W. Here we will have to distribute, so we'll have 76 equals 4 plus 4W plus 2W. And then I'm going to do some quick solving here. So I'm going to subtract that 4 for 72. I'm going to add that for 6W. And so now I can tell that the width would have to be 12. And if my width is 12, Then my length would have to be 24 plus 2, so 26. So hopefully that's okay. The area one on the next page is super fun, but I feel like it's not so important for us for tomorrow's situation. Hint, hint, wink, wink. And so if we turn the page, third hour, we definitely didn't get to this, but guess the number is another good one to look at. And in sixth hour, we wrote the equation here that the sum of two numbers is 18. Their difference is 12. So hopefully those two equations kind of make sense to you. Find each of the two numbers. Well, now we're in a perfect situation to eliminate. And so I'd add these up for 2x, no y's, equals 30 rather. And so then x is 15. And then I can plug this back into either one. But if I know that their sum has to be 18, then y would have to be 3. And also their difference would then be 12. Okay. So I'm going to also try number 3 real quick. The sum of two numbers is 15 less than twice the first number. So the sum of two numbers, again, was like we talked about before. So the sum of two numbers is that really good equals word, 15 less than, and guys, this is what this little trifoldy, I can pull it out of my notebook, foldable, is so good for. So I'm talking about this one here. We had these turnaround words where they mean subtraction, but I need to change the order that they're written in, and less than is one of those turnaround words. So that's how this can be helpful to us. So right here when it says 15 less than, I really need to do minus 15 at the end, twice the first number, and for me the first number I wrote down was x. So twice the first number. The second sentence gives me another equation, so their difference, so the same two numbers difference, is 5 less than, so that less than word turn around again, twice the second number, so twice y. Find each of the numbers. So it seems like I'd be set up really good for elimination right here. However, we got these x's and y's on the other side, and I really need to take care of those. So like if I subtract the 2x here, I have negative x plus y equals negative 15. And if I subtract the 2y here, then I'm going to have x minus 3y equals negative 5. And I'm actually still set up for elimination because my x's will just eliminate when I add, so that's nice. Now I have negative 2y equals negative 20. And so y is 10. So now I can plug back in wherever I want, so either my adjusted equations right here or the originals, but I feel like these ones are slightly better. So I'm going to go and use this top equation, negative x plus 10 equals negative 15. I'm going to subtract that 10, negative 25, and then change the signs on both. So one of my numbers is 25, the other is 10, and there you have it. Oops, sorry. There you have it. Now last but not least, I'm going to look at this page really quickly and talk about the top one. But really the three that I just went over, the distance, rate, times time one, guess my number, and then the perimeter one are the ones you want to know. However, there's a couple that you'll maybe see later, like on a quarterly or something, like this notebook thing. So a store sells small notebooks for $8 and large notebooks for $10. If you buy 6 notebooks and spend $56, how many of each size notebook did you buy? Well, truly I can see two great numbers here. $8 for each small notebook and $10 for each large notebook. So that's standard form. So I'm getting like $8 for each small notebook and $10 for each large notebook. And when I spend all that money, I spent $56. So on problems like these, your second equation is kind of sneaky. But we had that number left over, 6. So I bought 6 notebooks. That's a total. Some of those notebooks were small ones, and some of them were large ones. That one is always super hard for me to remember. But it's always usually like that, where it's just the two variables added up for a total. Then, for my feeling, I would do elimination. I'd times by a -8 on all that. So I'd have -8s minus 8l equals -48. I'd add them up, so ignoring that middle one now, and I'd have 0s, 2l equals 8. And so I bought 4 large notebooks. And if I bought 4 large ones, then I had to buy 2 small ones because I know I only bought 6 total. So guys, honestly, if you're feeling like the amount that I gave you tonight was too much, you could kind of go through and hopefully recognize the ones that are important, like the sum of 2 numbers, the perimeter, flying, rowing. So something like these ones on the back, where I'm finding the cost of avocados, the cost of bedspread, the cost of tables. 15 you can skip anyways. You can probably skip some of these. And honestly, 19 is a lot. You could probably skip, 9. So I would say at least do 10. Make sure they're good ones. You're going to be fine. We got a quiz tomorrow. Bye.